Hey, what's up, everybody? XRP approaching $2.55. We're a little bit all over the place today. You know, we got some green on the board here. We got 5% for Monero, 7 and almost 8% for XRP. 8% almost for XRP. That's pretty good. Litecoin is down 2%. Look at ICP down 10, almost basically 11%. Filecoin down 8%. Monero down 5%. Optimism up about 1%. Theta's down about a 1.25, and you can see everything else is kind of flat to down. You can see Algo's up 7%. All right, let's take a look here. Algo. Wow, look at Algo. You can see it's gotten beat up, you know, beat up, beat up, beat up, beat up, beat up, beat up. Now, I don't typically like this style of a shape because it's what I call bottlenecking, where, you know, if the price drops in and it bottlenecks like this. But you could see we actually had the dump already. So I think it could be finished. And we can also see this as an impulse. And then we have a three-wave pullback. And now we're starting to explode off of those lows. But what we really want to see is a break of the downward resistance line, which is honestly pretty nice looking. It's really, I should say, respected. You could see this line right here. We sort of already broken above it. So, damn, Algo's on a tear right now. You could see, right? Boom, boom, right? We dropped below, came back, but then look, we tested it right here as resistance again and again. We swooped down. We tested 50% of the wick. Remember, well, actually maybe like 40% of the wick, but we've been talking about that. Test a large portion of that wick, you know, three-way pullback. We came up, and now we're right back into this, I guess you could say, falling wedge type of pattern. So the main thing is you have an impulse to the upside, and you have a move down, you have a three-wave move up, and you have another move down. So that is a three-wave move right there. So the idea is, let's zoom out here. The idea here is we obviously want to see this three-wave move mature, and we want to see a base get formed down in here, and then we want to see a retrace. That's basically it. That's what we're looking for. Now, once we get the retrace, you know, let's put a fib here to there. Once we get that retrace somewhere up here, then we can say, okay, are we going into a bear market? Or I should say, are we continuing the bear market? Right? Are we continuing the bear market, or are we going to test, you know, the big part of this Fibonacci level, which is way up here? Right? That's what we don't know. That's what we're going to wait and find out and see. Now, it is bearish just because you have this three-wave move up, but you could say, well, we have a three-wave move down, right? We have three waves up, we have three waves down. But this three waves down doesn't mean that we're going to get five waves up, right? So we get three up, three down, and then five waves up. 3, 3, 5, A, B, C. So it could be an impulse to the downside, a three-way pullback, and this is a 1, this is a 2, this is a 1, we're getting another 2, and we're about to dump 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, which would be basically catastrophic, right? So that's kind of where we're at with Algorand. Not that anybody cares about Algorand, but even with ADA, it's the same kind of situation. You know, you got point A, you got point B, you got the top of the wave, you got the bottom of the wave, and then you got the middle of the wave. And that's kind of where we're at. So we have this three-wave move. We're off support. You can see this broadening wedge in here. I wonder if it's a diag. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C. So if we could hold support in here and build a little bit of a base and then get that retrace, same thing as Algorand, get the retrace, then we can either, two things could happen. Either this is 3 down and then we get 3 up and then we get 5 down and finish the bear market. Or we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's 5, 3, 5. And then we finish the bear market that way, which would be better just to get it over with. And then we can go up. Or basically we have, this is finished, right? We have a diag, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have a 3-way pullback. We get a little bit of a retrace in here. We get another pullback, and then we break out and go for new all-time highs. So we got 2 bear, 1 bull, right? The other bull could be that you got a rise, crash, a retrace, you come down into reaccumulation, you go sideways, and then you break out. Basically, it's the same thing as the diag count. Let's look at Matic. Do you believe in Matic? I don't know, man. I don't really believe in it right this minute, but let's take a look at it. Crypto.com. There we go. We got the full chart in here. Oh man, you know, I don't like it a lot. I just don't like the consolidation. You know why? Because we're cupping down. We're cupping down. I mean, it looks like we're cupping down into the resistance. We're cupping down into the resistance. Or support, I mean, sorry. We're cupping down into the support, right? So that's not really nice to deal with. But on the bullish front, you obviously have an impulse, right? So, and then now we're flagging out. So what I would tell you is that once this flag is finished, which it could take another year to finish, but once it finishes, we should get a retrace. And that's exactly what I would think. So if I'm a Matic believer and I have conviction in Matic and I believe in their roadmap, I'm accumulating very, very aggressively. So we got 3 waves down. We got 3 waves up. And then look at this, guys. We have 3 waves back down. Now the question is this going to be 3 down, or is it going to be 1, 2, 3, and this is 4, and then we're going to get 5? So it'd be a 3, 3, 3 or a 3, 3, 5. That's what it's got to be. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3 or 3, 3, 5. Now, if it's a 3, 3, 5, then that means we got more to come down, right? But if we do come down, people say, oh, we're just entering a bear market. Bro, how could we enter a bear market when we've been in a bear market this whole time? Look, the bear market started. The bear market started right there in May of 2021, and more importantly, December of 2021. So that's when the bear market started. So December 22, December 23, December 24, December 25. We've been in a bear market for the last 4 years, guys. We've been going down in a bear market for 4 years. So if Bitcoin enters a bear market, because Bitcoin is not in a bear market, Bitcoin is in a bull market. See, that's where everybody gets confused. They think that the whole crypto market either has to be bullish or bearish, and that is not the case. Not anymore, right? Some stocks, you can have Tesla going up 100%, but then you can have Walmart going down 10%. It's not going to happen, but you know what I mean, right? So if the moral of the story is, you got this whole wave right here. And the whole idea of a bear market is you want to test it 50%. Well, that's exactly what we did. We came down and we tested it 50%. So we met the requirement. Now, if this comes down, you know, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then once we get 5, then we have to establish a base. We have to build, because that's the thing. We have to build platforms like this. We have to build bases, right? That way we can build off of the base. Let's see if we have a little example. I don't think we do right away. We got one on Monero here. You can see like Monero, right? You're building a base. You're building a base. You're building a base. You're building a base, right? You're building layers of support. And let's go back to Matic. There's really no base. It's just been in a downtrend, right? Which is okay. You know, that could be a V-bottom recovery. But essentially, you know, we are flagging out in here. And what I would say is this has been going down for 4 years. So do you think it's going to go down for another 4 years? That doesn't sound right. That sounds ridiculous. I mean, it's possible, but what would more likely be the case is two things. One, this could, if this is finished and we can get going here, you know, maybe we swoop up again and then we have a little three-way pullback and then we start coming up like this, right? It'd be like a Wyckoff scenario, and then we would battle this trend line in here, maybe get a little three-way pullback, maybe a retest, and then start to get up. But look, now you're looking at already 2027, and you know what I mean? So it's going to take time for something like Matic, but you know, look how fast it took off last time. I mean, it just exploded off the low, right? And crypto can really change in less than 24 hours. But what I would say is, I just don't like this. You know, I like the whole thing. I love this whole thing except for that. So once that gets fixed, now that could get fixed two ways. One, we could drop down like so, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then that's it. And then we're finished. And then we have this 5-wave move. So all we really need to do is drop down a little bit more, sweep the lows, take the low, finish that 5-wave move, you know, get a nice bounce off the low, and then start building that base to move up like so, right? So you could see you come down, you think this is the low, but then you sweep the low, right? We've seen that many times. Let's take a look at you know, just like, for example, right here, like you could see right here, we came down, you thought this, we're building a base, but then what happened? You swept the low, and then you came up, and then you flagged out, and then you continue. Remember that, right? So when you have a big move down, and then you consolidate, what happens is you can either build a base and then retrace, or you sweep the lows first, build that bullish divergence, get an impulse, get a three-way pullback, then get the retrace. So if we go back to Matic, where's it at? Right there, right? And then we just draw that in like so, boom, and then we go like this, and then we flag out, and then we get that bigger retrace. So that's what I think should happen for Matic. That's what I would like to see happen. Now, what if it's completely bearish? Well, if it's completely bearish, I'm still looking for 5 waves. You know, I want to see 5 waves come in. And if it's completely bearish, then I would expect a 3-way move like that. And then a continuation to the downside. And then this could be, for example, 3, 3, 5, right? Or I'm sorry, it'd be 3, and then this would have to be 3, 3, and then 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which would be weird, right? It would just be so big, it would be crazy. And then you would get a retrace, and then you would have to it would just be a bad thing. So, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with Matic, but it doesn't look nice right here. It just looks, I mean, if I flip it upside down, doesn't it look bearish to you? It looks bearish as hell to me. I mean, look, you got an impulse, you have a 3-way pullback, and now you're starting to break, you're starting to go. I mean, look. So that's not good. That's not good at all. So that's concerning. Monero pulled back, got definitely rejected off of that. Let's see if we can, hold these lows in here and then get some kind of a retrace, right? That would be nice to see. So we have all of this consolidation right in here, right? You could see we kind of broke out of that. And now what is if that's an inverse head and shoulders, what is the measured move of that? I don't think we looked the other day. Now I could put it at the very low, or I could be a little bit more conservative with it. And I'll put it right there. And you can see, look at that. We basically hit it perfectly. So we hit the measured move. So, this could be also a flat. It could be a reversal, right? Because you could have, for example, 3 waves down, 3 waves up, and now we're going to have to come down for a while. And just like how we did it right here, you can see boom, 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 boom. Take the top, then come back down, then come back down, then go up, then go up. You see what I mean? Right there. So that could be the case. So hopefully not. Let's zoom in here. Yeah, that doesn't look super bullish to me. It looks a little bearish to me, honestly. Yeah, let's see what happens when we get back down to like 375 down in here. Maybe we can get a retrace. But yeah, it looks like it's going to keep pushing down lower. Definitely looks like it needs to come down lower. So, okay, so XRP, is also in a situation here it looks like it's going to have an issue coming up. I mean, look, you had this move down and then you came straight back up, right? Rather, I don't like that. We need this kind of action right in here. And that was kind of like what we were just talking about with Matic, right? Remember how it comes down, it builds a little base, it sweeps the low, then it comes up here, plays around, and then goes, right? So when you have a big move down, a big move up, 3-way pullback, right? And then another sharp move up, if this move gets too sharp, it could just collapse. So we don't want that. So what do we need? Well, we want it to continue, we want it to continue building, maybe give us a little 3-way pullback here. We don't want any waves like this, right? We don't want big dumps. We want healthy pullbacks. So if this gets up here and then it rejects down, then that's not going to be good, right? So we don't want that. Now you could say this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with a truncated 5th, right? And let's see here. I just don't get it. Why it comes down there. You can see the 12-hour bullish divergence right there. So that's good. The daily, you even have it on the daily. You got bullish divergence on the daily. Is it on the 2-day? It's even on the 2-day. Look at that. And it's not technically bullish divergence because you got that wick, but it is because the wick isn't as important as the candles, right? So yeah, the big problem is you have all of this resistance, right? So if I push this down, you're going to have all of this resistance. So we came down, we got rejected, we came up, we got rejected, we came back down, and now we're trying it again. So if we keep getting rejected here, this is like if I flip it upside down, right? And I sweep the low, and then I build a base, and then I break out, and then I back test it, right? And then maybe I back test it again, and I build another base on top of this base here. That could lead to a disaster. So we got to be very careful in this situation here. So that's pretty much it for XRP. I mean, let's look at the small time frames real quick here. I mean, I think it could keep pumping in here. It looks pretty bullish right in here. So you got like a three-way pullback here. You got another three-way move. So maybe we get another three-way move down and then we go up, right? Small time frames. Look at this time frame. I mean, that looks bullish right there. Looks like it wants to pop the high there. So, you know, it looks to me like 1, 2, 3, and then 4, and then 5. So let's see how that plays out. XLM looks like it already got rejected off the low. Is that a diag? Is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? I don't think so. Or is that a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and then we're gonna get 4, and then maybe explode off the low? I don't think so either, because you know you got a lot of resistance in here, but also if you look at this impulse, anytime you have an impulse down and then you correct back up, you're most likely going to correct back down to get that higher low, to make the attempt to push higher. XRP, yeah, it still looks pretty good right in here. You got a little inverse head and shoulders, maybe, right there. So I think we're going to get a pop here. Same thing with Litecoin, I think. Where'd Litecoin go? So let's zoom out first on Litecoin. Yeah, it's doing its thing, you know. It's not the greatest right in here, because you got this doji right in here. So, you know, we had this. I mean, look, the reason why I like Litecoin is because we've been going sideways for like 8 years. And we've been going sideways aggressively in a tight range for several years, right? So, you know, to me, we're getting these three-way pullbacks, So if they can continue to push higher, right, like so, then, you know, we have a real good shot at breaking this range once and for all. So we could do it once, and I've been saying once this wave is finished, that's when we can potentially break that range. So the problem is I don't like the way this looks. It just doesn't look finished. Like, look how developed this looks. Now look how developed that looks. It doesn't look complete. It looks like there's something missing, right? Doesn't it look like something's missing? You know, you got a boom, a boom, a boom, right? A boom. You drop down, you come back up, you finish the low, You know what I mean? So that's what I think. And that's why I'm kind of struggling here. Like, I don't really trust this a lot. Now, I will get excited if we could break this. If we could break that, you know, if we could come up here and then get a little bit of a pullback and then break out, that would be a nice thing. But it's got to prove itself right in here. So, you know, I go to the 4-hour chart, you know, to me, that looks like you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, basically. So today is Monday, and I don't trust Monday pumps. I'm glad it's not pumping today. If it was pumping crazy today, like XRP is pumping today, and I don't like that, you know, anytime you get a pump on a Sunday or a Monday, it just sets up for a terrible week. Usually how it happens. So hopefully, you know, because we want to save the pumpy action for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday are the most bullish days of the week. Or the most, I should say, volatile days of the week. So let's see how that plays out. Now, again, we still have a lot of ammunition coming out, right? So that'll be interesting. You know, BCB shared a fractal. I thought that was really interesting, which is this right here. And this is very concerning. But this basically, he highlighted Ethereum Classic back in the day where it exploded off the low, right, in the retrace, right? Remember, we talked about that. If Bitcoin can get a retrace, that's when we have our last chance for an alt season. So you can see Bitcoin comes down, right? And then it goes into a retrace, and then we get this explosion. But Bitcoin did not get a retrace quite yet, but then we still got this explosion in Zcash, right? So when you see these things popping off, you think, well, that's bullish, but that could be the end of something, not the beginning, right? So we're definitely going to have to monitor this situation. So let's take a look at Zcash, because that would be a good short if that is the case, right? So let's take a look here. It looks pretty scary. I don't think I remember seeing on his chart it hit the 4.236, but I don't think he was looking. Let's see. I don't know where he pulled his fibs because I don't have that on mine. Oh, unless he was doing it on linear scale here. Well, let's go to regular, and then we'll go up here. So I think he was pulling it there. Yeah, I just don't know where he pulled it from. And did he pull it down here? No. I'm a little bit confused as to where he pulled his fibs because I don't see a 4.236 on Zcash. Oh, he's looking at the market cap of Zcash on another. I think this is CoinTrader Pro. Yeah, see, this is okay. So basically the market cap hit the 4.236, which is very concerning. But the price has not even close. So, but if we zoom in, you got some dojis coming in here. Major. But it's tough shorting this because there's still a lot of bullishness in this thing here. Especially, you never want to, if you pump up here and you have a three-way pullback, you don't really want to short that. Not until we break support, break structure, right? So let's look at Filecoin. Filecoin pulled back 7%. Is it ready for a buy? I mean, not really. I mean, maybe. You got 5. You got 1, 2. Okay, so you could do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then get a retrace. Or is this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A. And then we have 1, 2, and then we're going to shoot up here for a B. And then go down for C. So we could be on our way for a little bit of a pump here. But it already did kind of pump off the low, so not really an entry there. Let's see what happens. XRP versus Bitcoin. Looks like a little bit of a resistance in there. ICP is down like almost 10%. Wow. After exploding ridiculously, right? So, yeah, we want to see rotations. We want to see some action in here. Litecoin still, like this time frame, it looks pretty bullish. Look, you kind of cocked back in here, and then you building a base, right? You're flipping green, red, green, red, green, red. So I would expect a little bit of a retrace. So that could be a little bit of a trade there. Remember, this is not financial advice. I could be totally wrong. Always know that. I could be completely wrong. I don't think I am, but I could be. So don't make any financial decisions based on what I say, because that's how you will lose money. Now, the best advice I could give myself is to just dollar cost average and ignore the BS, ignore the bear market, bull market calls, ignore, basically the only thing you got to focus on is your own financial situation and trying to, because there's the only way you're going to get rich in this life is if you invest in crypto. There's no other way. There's no other way. Unless you're a movie star, you're a rap star, which I doubt it. You're a lawyer, you're a doctor, which is a lot of work and that sucks. I just, you're a business owner, which is great. But I don't think you're going to be a millionaire just doing what you're doing. And the only way you're going to be a millionaire is if you buy crypto. I don't see another way. So, if you believe in crypto long term, like I do, and you zoom out, you could see, right? Maybe that's not the best example, but just zoom out, man. You know, flat, up, flat, up, flat, right? And then once this, I'm going to zoom out like this, and it's going to look like this, right? See how this looks like a flat line? Well, eventually, this is going to be a flat line, and this is going to be up here. So, speaking of Ethereum, I think it looks still really bullish, but on the small time frames, I don't. I think it's still bearish on these time frames. So I just don't, you had this little move up here. I feel like it's going to have to come back down to the bottom part of the range. So, yeah, it looks, you got like if that's three, if that's three, if that's three, I guess you could say that's a three-way move and it's done. But I don't really like this because you get an impulse to the downside, you get a three-way pullback, you retest that 50%, likely you're going to have to come back down in three and then maybe go up in five. It'd be a 3-3-5, right? Now, if we start catching bids here and we start pumping, then that's great. That's great. Then we would expect pullback and then a continuation. But I just don't like this. I feel like it's got to come down. You got this three-way move here. I feel like it's got to come back down. So I should have closed my Monero trade um, a while ago. I didn't. Yeah, see, it's already dumping even more. Good thing I got rid of that. I got rid of it in here, but I should have waited for that spike, but it's okay. Um, that one looks interesting. Look at that. One, two, three. Three-way pullback. You're coming up here and you're kind of cocking back in here. I don't know about that. Looks interesting though. Definitely interesting wave structure. I think that's about it. Oh my God, look at Trump. It's balling right now. Oh my God, come on. No. Well, I guess I missed it again. Damn. I haven't been paying attention to this one. Look at that. Look at that three-way pullback, pump, three-way pullback, pump. You know what I mean? Too late now. I mean, damn, look at that. It's just gone bonkers. So, that's a meme coin. Look at that. It's up 20 freaking percent. Unbelievable. You know, we should be getting $2,000. So Trump tweeted out, people who are against tariffs are fools. Yeah, they are. They're deep state rats. We are now the richest, most respected country in the world with almost no inflation and a record stock market price. Yeah, but what about crypto, bro? What about crypto? You never talk about that. 401ks are at the highest. Yeah, but Litecoin's not. Ever. You know, we are taking in trillions of dollars, and we will soon be paying down our enormous debt, 37 trill. Record investment in the USA. Plants going up all over the place. A dividend of at least 2,000 per a person, not including high-income people, will be paid to everyone. So, did he say we're getting a stimulus check of $2,000? This will change people's opinion on tariffs, definitely. So this could be bullish for crypto because what do you think people are going to... Remember when we got the stimulus money, what did people do with it? They bought Bitcoin. Okay, well, what are you going to do with this money, right? People are going to put it into crypto, guarantee it. So that's basically it for the crypto market. Let's take a look at Theta. It's not doing anything exciting. Not yet. You know, I want to see it just build structure in here. Just build the structure, and then I want to break the structure. That's all I can say. Because, you know, we've been going down for a while. We've been going down since all year. 2025, 2026, just been going straight down. So, and we have 5 waves. So, this to me is going to bottom. I'm letting you know right now. This is going to most likely bottom very soon. And then we should get a massive retrace, hopefully. Right? Because if you look at Bitcoin dominance, it's still, you know, hasn't broken down yet. So we still have that hope that it can. And if it doesn't, then again, guess what? It eventually will. No matter what, it's going to happen. We will get an alt season. XRP will hit $10. Ethereum will hit 10,000 or 7,000. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. But it might not happen in the time that you want it to happen, but it will happen. Right? Because if you just look at XRP, you know, look at that wick. Whoa, I didn't see the Binance wick. Look at that. I did not see that. Look at that. Binance, well, this changes a lot. Binance, we came all the way down and we retested this all-time high, which is insanity. I did not know that. Well, that's a good thing and a bad thing. It's a bad thing because maybe you have to test 50% of the wick. It's a good thing because we basically retested the breakout level, right? I mean, look how long we went sideways here, right? You got 3, you got move down, we got 3, and then move down and move down. So the big order of business is just holding this range. That's all we got to do. We got to maintain this support. We got to build support. And, you know, theoretically, right, you have the bottom of the range, you have the top of the range. You come to the top, you come to the bottom. You come to the top, you come to the bottom. So what comes next? You got to go to the top, right? I mean, theoretically, you hit the bottom already. So now, you know, when you come down, you're building support on the low end, right? You're spiking the high, rejection, but then you're building support, you hit the high, right? You get rejected, and then you kind of fishtail bottleneck down. And now, same kind of thing here. You want to build that layer of support to get that energy to break out. So we still got the XRP ETF coming. The government shutdown is ended. It's going to officially end probably this week. And then the CFTC is going to get going. The SEC, they're going to hopefully get this going, and hopefully more regulation comes. It's going to happen, So we just got to get these deep state Democrats out of office because they're just no good. So if you guys vote, if you live in the United States and you vote, you got to vote Republican. I mean, I don't like Republicans any more than you guys, but at the same time, I love my crypto. And the only thing that matters is our investment, because that's what when you invest time, energy, and your hard-earned money, you want it to work. But you also got to put the right people in position so that they can get, everything situated as far as regulations go and things like that. If we want our sport to grow, we need the right people to grow it. And Trump and his kids are definitely the people to do it. But they can only do so much. So, in that front, we have a lot of. That's why I'm not worried about it. That's why, I don't know if we're going to go to a bear market, blah, blah, blah. I'm not worried about it because you got to look at the fundamentals. The fundamentals are as strong as ever, ever, ever before for Bitcoin, for crypto. Not even close. Look at what crypto is, right? It's technology that makes cheating illegal, right? So fiat currency is monopoly money that could be distorted and cheated on. Crypto, depending what crypto it is a platform where decentralization is what matters, right? So if you could take the Fed and decentralize it, I mean, wouldn't that be the best thing in the world, right? So, anyways, to me, this three-way move is going to break us out of here. I don't know when exactly, but it looks pretty good. Other than that, there's not really too much going on here. Crypto is an emotional game, right? It's emotional. So, 1 minute, you're happy. The next minute, you're pissed off. And it's the same goes with, content creators, right? At the same time, I don't control the market. I can just interpret the market. But the way I look at the market is a little different than most people, because I know that conviction is what makes holding easy, right? Like I could buy Aave right now and not worry about it, not be like sweating. Oh, is it gonna crash? Is it gonna come down? Like you gotta, if you're holding spot crypto and the market dumps, it's not a big deal because you didn't lose anything. You did not lose anything unless you sell. You didn't lose, right? If you have 10 Aave, right, and you bought it, and then let's say it drops 10%, whatever, you still have 10 Aave. It didn't change, right? So if we break out after this three-way move, guess what? You still have 10 Aave. But that 10 Aave is going to be worth a lot more, right? So at the end of the day, it's all about having the conviction in what you hold. So let's look at gold and silver, because if we need to look at it, because if this is continuing to rip higher, then it's going to be hard for crypto. So it could be that gold's taking all of crypto's thunder. You know, you could see we're going into a retrace right here for gold. Is that a new high? Yeah, so that's not a 1-2. That's 3. That's a 3-way move down. And you're going to get a 3-way move up, and then maybe a 5-way move down, and then go. And maybe that's when we could get a crypto pump here. Let's see. If we put this up with XRP, you can see it's really kind of all over the place, and it doesn't make a lot of sense. But when you put Bitcoin on, you know, usually, you know, they're both trending up, which is good, but they do it at different times. So if, let's look at silver now. Oh yeah, silver looks good. I would rather own silver than gold any day because silver is just more important than gold. Look at that. Silver is about to break out into new all-time high. Now, if we look at silver and we compare that to, for example, Monero, look at the difference, guys. Now, you tell me. Look at that. Whoops, this is a, when was this? This is the largest cup and handle in human history. This is 1980. That's like a 45-year cup and handle. Think about that for a second. Trump is 45, by the way. You have a 45-year cup and handle. Look at that, cup and handle, right? Same situation as Monero, right? So you have, right, obviously your rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways, blast off. Are we getting the blast off? I mean, just look at that for a second. And let's put on some lines here. So yeah, it looks really interesting. So let's see if silver breaks out. If silver breaks out, then it's not going to be the greatest for crypto. I mean, that's what a lot of people want to assume and think, but honestly, I don't know. I think it's just going to rotate, if anything. So, but let's zoom in a little bit here. 2-day chart. Yeah, this thing still has a lot of energy behind it. You can see all of the energy. You know, this is coiling up, and then it's releasing all of its energy. So we want to see. I think this high is going to get taken out. I mean, it looks like it's barely just getting started, to be quite honest. Looks like it's just barely getting started. So if this is the largest cup and handle in human history, you know, we could see, actually, let's do it on regular scale here, and then we'll put this right there. You're looking at like $100. I think that's a good place to take profit, would be $100. So if silver hit $100, I would be definitely probably selling a little bit of it. So, man, I wish it could be a little bit more exciting. So, anyways, I think that'll do it for this video. I appreciate everybody for tuning in, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Cheers.